So, good evening and welcome everyone who are joining us today on Zoom and on Facebook Live once again, locally in Hong Kong and from all around the world. To Naveda's 80 is the new 50 panel discussion number 35. I am Veena Dansingani, founder, director, alopecia hair loss specialist of Naveda Integral Wellness Center in Hong Kong, which is the first value based integral wellness center offering a transformative health experience to its clients. Since the beginning of January 2021, Naveda has taken the initiative to educate people on happy, healthy, active, and purposeful living. Need to mute somebody, yeah.
Okay.
By running a campaign called 80 is the new 50 panel discussion. And since July, we have yet taken another initiative to educate people about Indian medicinal plants from the ancient Indian science of Ayurveda. Naveda has invited experts and scholars to share their knowledge and insights on this subject as we are committed and dedicated to bring the ancient Indian Vedic wisdom to the global platform. These days, every other person is talking about detox, cleanses, purifications, and it seems to have become buzzwords in today's modern world. Whilst in the ancient science of Ayurveda, this has been practiced for over 5,000 years. Something called Panchakarma, which is the Ayurveda science of detoxification and rejuvenation. Today, we would like to welcome our panel guests who are experts in Panchakarma therapy and have deep insights into this subject, and we can learn all about the science and how it can detox and rejuvenate us. So first, I'd like to welcome Dr. Pragyan Tripathi. He is the director of Narmed Ayurvedam Panchakarma Center, India, Ujjain. Welcome, Dr. Tripathi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's all my pleasure.
Then we have Dr. Yogesh Joshi. He is the founder of Ayushman Ayurveda and Panchakarma Center, Pune, India. Welcome, Dr. Joshi, once again.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
And then we have Dr. Suraj Kumbar. He's a consultant of Panchakarma, KLE Ayurveda Hospital, Karnataka, India. Welcome, Dr. Kumbar.
Thank you, everyone.
Pleasure.
Then we have Dr. Sanjay Nagakar, who is a world-renowned microbiologist, biotechnologist, scientist. He's got a PhD from the University of Hong Kong, and his special interest is, of course, in preventive healthcare and molecular medicine. Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjay, for being here once again and giving us your scientific perspective to all that is being shared.
Thank you.
And then, of course, we have Mr. Lal Darinani, who is Naveda's director, and our 80 is the new 50 campaign ambassador. He is definitely a wonderful role model for being here and learning all this time. And another very, very interesting topic of his learning, which he would continue to love anti-aging and keep looking young, ever active and energetic for how many other years that he is going to live on this earth. So welcome, Mr. Lal Darinani.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Veena, sorry. If you see, if Lillian is online, can you bring her in? She can contribute if Lillian is online.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. If she comes, like, you can bring her because she can give some Chinese input onto, yeah.
Okay. So wonderful. So very interesting topic indeed. I think a lot of people would first of all like to understand what is Panchakarma. So maybe Dr. Joshi, would you like to start?
Basically, Panchakarma is a process of detoxification of the body, which has got 5 karmas, 5 procedures, what we call as a Panchakarma. First is called as Vaman, which is an vomiting process. Second one is Virachan, that is a purgative process. Third one is Basti, what we call as medicated enemas. Fourth one is Nasya, that is putting oil, ghee, and various things in the nose, as nose is the uh, opening of the skull or towards the skull. And fifth one is Rakta Mokshan, that is bloodletting. So these are the five panchakarmas which are being used in regular day-to-day practice for curative of all the diseases, and preventive of all the diseases. So this is a basic thing of Panchakarma. These are called five karmas, and there are many allied things allied with all these things. The massages are different things: Navarakiri, Pindasved, Patra Potali, Shirodhara, Uttar Basti, and all these things. Kati Basti, Rud Basti, Janu Dhara. These are the allied things. But majorly the five karmas which are been practiced and discussed in the text of Ayurveda are these five things.
Okay. So basically, there are five things that are covering all this. Pancha means five, and karma means, what did you say? What it means?
Procedures.
Procedures. Okay, the five procedures. Wonderful. So, has Dr. Kumbar, has this Panchakarma been used since ancient ancient Indian science? Like how old is this? Is it as old as Ayurveda and
Yeah,
yoga, or how
actually,
is it?
yeah. Actually, how you know this? How the living being started in our earth? In that manner only, our panchakarma is started. Why? The logic behind this karma means, for example, I will say that when I think you know the things, pets. We can call it as dogs and other animals. Whenever they feel some irritation in their stomach or whatever the things, what they will do? They will start eating a grass. Yes, I think you know the things. So after eating the grass, what they will do? They will start vomiting. Why? Why the animal should know this thing? Why our humankind don't know this thing? That thing only advised in our ancient Ayurveda treatment. So it is when the Ayurveda started, the Panchakarma is also started. So it's not like Panchakarma is only the branch. No, the in our Ayurveda we having Ashtanga Ayurveda. So eight major branches. In that, almost all the branches are connected with one and another way with Panchakarma only, because the Panchakarma we can call it as purificatory therapy. So that's what we can connect it with when the Ayurveda started. So that's what we can say in our Ayurveda. Ayurveda is Anadi, means it don't have any starting point like that, or Anta. We don't have any end for this one. So that's why the Panchakarma is also same thing. It started from whenever when the Ayurveda started, and we don't know when it will be end. This was the time duration.
Wonderful. So basically, it sounds like it is started whenever the earth started. It's been there ages. So Dr. Tripathi, you are practicing Panchkarma therapy on on your patients a lot in your clinic.
Yeah, definitely. Mine is Narmade Ayurvedam Panchkarma Center only. See, regarding Panchkarma, I should tell you one thing. Like in Ayurveda, they say that if you want to administer any medicine, first of all, the channels of the body has to be cleared so that there will be better absorption of the medicine you are giving. Sometimes they say that, oh, Ayurveda is working very slowly. It takes a lot of time in Ayurveda for a medicine to act. The reason behind that is they are not following the Ayurveda principles. The principle says first you go with the purification, first of all you detox the body, first of all you clear all the channels. Then if you are administering even a very small dose of medicine, it will work like anything. So that is how Panchkarma goes. The very first step of treatment in Ayurveda itself is Panchkarma. Any sort of purification, what exactly a layman can understand from Panchakarma is evacuating the toxins from the nearest root of the body is called as, all those procedures comes under Panchakarma. There are more than 50, 150 to more than 200 procedures can be done to evacuate the toxins from the nearest root. Let it be induced emaciation, purgation, let it be, giving any medicine from nasal root, from, Karna Puran, Dhupan, fumigation, this, that, anything. So Panchakarma is like, there are definitely five procedures are there, and under that there are n number of procedures which can be kept depending upon the situation, depending upon the stage of disease, and depending upon the purification required. So Panchakarma is from where Ayurveda starts. You first clean your house, then you settle the things. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Sanjay, what do you have to say about this? I mean, I know that even from a scientific perspective, detoxification of the body is very important before we even think of something else.
Yeah, so today basically what we are going to learn, like, yes, it's a detoxification, it's a treatment, uh, or you can say like the holistic process of managing, maintaining, treating, healing of human body through a particular Ayurvedic procedure. Okay, so people can give any name. People are free. Audience are free to choose any name. But at the end of the day, end product is there is certain kind of like Ayurvedic procedure by which, as I said again, repeating, like body can be detox, heal, treat, whatever is like that. So that's what we are looking forward today, and I'm sure like session is going to be very interesting today, and we are going to learn a lot. And yes, most importantly, all around the world, or again from the marketing point of view, when we say Panchakarma is mostly again marketing things, like how it is marketed. So there are only few words in a common vocabulary, but as Dr. Tripathi said, there are more than like means 200 different type of procedures. So that's what we are going to learn today. Okay, so floor is open.
Wonderful. So, I would like to learn, first of all, when somebody wants to come for a Panchakarma treatment, or who are the kind of people should act who should actually get this Panchakarma therapy? Is it everybody that comes to your clinic is suitable to have this? Is there a duration of time that the person has to go through this entire process? So, Dr. Joshi?
Yeah. Uh, Panchakarma is recommended for all the people. As I had mentioned, it is not only a curative process, it is also a preventive aspect. And according to the seasons, what we call as rutu, uh, which are been described in the Ayurveda text and what we follow in India, every rutu has got its own, every season has got its own way of developing or the doshas in the body. So generally, for the people who are having uh, any type of elements who would need basti treatment, it is recommended for them. Basically, it is for vata, pitta, and kapha. All things basti is recommended, and it is recommended specifically in the period of Varsha Rutu. Means specifically in the period of June, July, August, after the first rain comes and some what the cold season, some cold things come after the summer. This process is recommended for the people who want to do for a preventive aspects. Then the second process, what we called as virechan, that is purgating thing, which is basically used for the detoxification, which is dominance of having pitta, rakta dosha. uh, that is recommended in a Sharad Rutu, which comes in September and then October, when after the rainy season heat starts. At that time, it is the obviously that time the pitta in the body is it becomes more, and it's easy for all the things to remove the excess of pitta from the body. And Vaman is the process what we called as a vomiting process that is recommended in a Vasant Rutu, as when after the winter winter ends and summer starts. At that time, by nature, whatever the cough in the body is accumulated starts dissolving accordingly to the nature, and it becomes easy to evacuate or to remove the natural cough through the through the vomiting process. Raktamokshan also is being advised in the Sharad Rutu. It can be administered at any time, and Nasya also can be administered at any time. All these three elements, Vaman, Virechan, and Basti, can be done at any point of view if the patient needs the thing accordingly. Means if the patient is comes in Sharad Rutu and he says, no, I want Basti, he needs Basti or he needs Vaman, we can give it, do the process as per the things. But for the preventive aspects, the seasons are being told, described as the doshas in the body, they grow up, and at that time it is easy for them to come out of the body. We don't need these doshas to bring up, to make them more and then do it. But at the time when there is a somebody is a patient and he needs the type of treatment, at that time whatever is necessary, we can do it. So this is the basic concept of Panchakarma. It is to be administered for all the people. It is recommended, as we know that our body is a complicated machine. We do the servicing of our regular servicing of our all the things in our day-to-day routine. Our house we clean up, our this cars or vehicles we clean up. Why? Because they should not have a breakdown. So it is recommended to have for an every person to go to a particular process for detoxification, for maintenance of the body, to have a long and healthy lifestyle. This is recommended for each and every people.
Okay. So basically, each and every person can have Panchakarma, and there come couple of seasons which are more suitable depending again on why they've come in. So my question here is, how long is generally the procedure? Is it something short, like a 7 days, 3 days? How long is the procedure?
The process depends upon basically how much things are needed. Basti is being divided into 7 days, 14 days, 21 days. Virechan and women, it needs minimum the time which have to be donated for the person. It should be minimum 3 weeks. Minimum 3 weeks. Vaman and Virechan is needed. For Nasya and Raktamokshan, mere for Raktamokshan, if it is done authentically, 3 days, and Nasya it doesn't have need more time. So this is the process according depending upon the condition of the person, depending upon the doshas available in the body, how are the doshas and what type of treatment we are going to give. So these are the things which are being described in the text, and we follow this authentic way of treatment at our center. No shortcuts are being applied. Where shortcuts are being applied, you have to compromise for all these things, and no compromise for these panchakarmas in our treatments.
Good.
So it almost seems like you really need to dedicate a good amount of time to cleanse the entire body. You have to invest. And Dr. Tripathi, I would like to understand, if people are coming for Panchakarma, do they have to stay in a clinic, or can they go and come? And how convenient is this? Dr. Tripathi? We can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Unmute you. Unmute.
Unmute karo. Yeah. So, Dr. Tripathi, I would like to understand how convenient is this? I mean, does one have to dedicate and stay somewhere for 21 days or 7 days, or they can practice, do this at home, or how does it work actually?
See, Panchkarma is something, if we consider it doing at home, like we have asked our patients to do some sort of little Panchkarma at home itself during lockdown, because they cannot come to our clinics, and even we don't want them to come during lockdown, right? We didn't wanted them to come. So like that, some sort of Panchkarma, like doing a little Nasya, or the nasal drops can be taken at home. Sometimes people are calling us at like say 12 o'clock at night, or at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m. And my ear is aching. What can I do? I cannot call them to my center, but instead of calling them, I can ask them whether you have some kind of Google or Karpur or something at home that you can burn and take the drops directly inside your ears, so that the pain will be relieved immediately. Sometimes they are coming with like acute constipation for so many days. So in that case, we ask them just take a syringe without needle, and just take fill it with something around 30 ml of castor oil, and take a enema by yourself. Yeah. So that kind of some sort of procedures, like we can give for weight loss, we are doing udvardhan dry powder massage. So sometimes we'll be giving that dry powder to the patient. The patient comes, okay, I have only tummy, and rest of my body is okay. So we just give them some sort of dry powder and ask them to massage. We'll be doing it for few days. But if patients are coming from a long distance, then we teach them some sort of panchkarma. Okay, we'll be doing them for a day or two, and we teach them, okay, you can keep doing it at your home. So that kind of in that way, we can ask our patients to follow, to continue some sort of panchkarma at home, like for in most of the cases in India, and like most of the places all around the world, people are suffering from knee pain. Yeah. And in Ayurveda, there is a procedure called Janu Basti. We are preparing a dough, and preparing a sort of vessel over the knee and putting some oil in it. And patients sometimes cannot come for say 21 days. So they are having their own appointments and their own busy schedules. So we ask them to come for 5 to 7 days. Then we teach them, okay, if you can't prepare a dough and a vessel over your knee, if you can't do all this so many things, then at least just cut a cotton, small piece of cotton, put it over knee, and pour at least 1 tablespoon of any pain oil, or we'll be giving some oil for Janu Basti, and they can do that small procedure, or we call it Sadhyo Panchkarma, at home itself. So we can do it. Yeah.
Sorry, Vina. Lillian is on Zoom, so you can add Lillian. Today looks like a good crowd. Interesting topic.
Interesting topic, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. So, welcome, Lillian. So, Lillian is an Ayurveda consultant as well. Dr. Sanjay, maybe you could share more
Yeah,
about her background.
I think like she is the only a person in Hong Kong who can speak like a Chinese nationality, like speak Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese, Mandarin, and English. Went to Kerala to learn a proper Ayurveda treatment. So that's how Ayurveda is spreading around the world, and because like the foreigners taking interest, a lot of foreigners like means from Australia, European countries, they're going to India learning. So we have someone, Lillian Fung, today, who went to India, learn sincerely, formally, from these Vedya's places, treatment center, in Kerala. So anyway, she will mention about that. So anyway, there are certain things which is going out of India as well. So this is a very good, interesting things like what is happening in India and how people are learning from India and doing out of India. So we can do some comparison. So that would be nice. Yeah.
Wonderful. So yes, so Dr. Kumbar, maybe you'd like to share your inputs about what is the most effective way to do Panchakarma.
The
Actually, if
most
someone really wants to benefit properly, what is the most effective or correct way to do this?
most effective means they have to dedicate their self. They has to dedicate their body or their obese to their vaidya, or we can call it as the doctor who is giving a treatment. Actually, what happen if you are in a busy schedule, whatever the things, if you are only like that, sir, means how the patient approach means, sir, they will come to OPD and they will ask, I have, sir, only 10 days time, you have to do the panchakarma for me. It's not like that. So when they will give a proper time to that the vaidya, or we can call it as a doctor, that time only we can give a perfect treatment or a perfect benefits of panchakarma to the particular client. This was the thing. So because what happened, in a shorter days, like only 10 days or 15 days, I cannot say that some of the centers they will start as a retreat or something, etc. So because of a retreat, what happened, it's only like it's a showing. It's like a just like advertisement product. Like, so if you want the proper authentic practice of a panchakarma, means you need to spend a more time. If normally we can say for the vamana means we are giving the sum of a medicated whichever the medicines to induce the vomiting. So in that process, what happened? We will not directly start with the vomiting. So in some condition, we will give a induced vomiting in some conditions. That is, we can call it a sadhyamana. But if we are practicing according to the authentic means, first before 3 or 4 days, we need to analyze their agni. That is a fire of the inside body. We can call it as agni. We have to analyze that, and we have to analyze the digestion of the particular patient, how the digestion is there and what is their digestion capacity. We have to analyze first. So for a proper digestion, we give us some medicines for 3 days or 5 days something. After that only we can start the purva karma process. So it is also, it can consider as deepana pachana, that is the digestive fire assessment, or which is the digestion capacity assessment. After that we will start with the oleation therapy, we can call it as snehana. So it is depending upon their kosta. We can say in our Ayurveda, kosta, that is their GIT tract. We can means gastrointestinal tract. Depending upon that, or their stomach capacity, or the how the digestion takes place. Depending upon that, 3 days oleation we will do, or 5 days, or 7 days. Maximum is the 7 days. So like this, the assessment will go on changing depending upon the patient. So after that, we will give 1 day of a gap after this oleation. So after 1 day gap, we will do external oleation. Before we are calling a snehana, that is abhyantara. You can say internal oleation. Some amount of a ghee or some amount of a oil, medicated oil, we will give it to the patient to consume it. So that comes under the snehana, that oleation therapy. After the internal, we will stop it after looking the symptoms of a patient. After that, we will give a vishramakal, we can call it as. We will pause for the 1 day and we will observe their digestion capacity and the other things. We will pause, and next day we will go for the main procedure. That is the pradhana karma, we can call it as, that is vamanam. Like that, virechana also. So same thing, Vamana and Virechana, these concept will be there. Same, the Snehana will be there in a Purva Karma, pre-procedure, and main procedure, how we will come. So after procedure, that the day of Vamana, we will give a sum of the medicines and we will start the inducing the vomiting. So, and after that, we will having the post procedure, can call it as Paschat Karma. After vomiting, what we have to do. So it will start with the diet also, which kind of a diet they have to follow after the Shodhana or Vamana. Vamana, Virechana, these are comes under the Shodhana. So after this, how we have to follow the particular diet and everything, and when we have to start the normal diet. These almost all the criteria comes to every of our panchakarma. So main panchakarma five are there: vamana, virechana, basti, nastya, and rakta mokshana. For this we have to analyze their agni, we can call it as the digestion capacity, or agni we can call it. After that, we have to maintain the restriction of a diet. So according to this, for minimum, I can say on an average, for one panchakarma, the 15 days is needed. Minimum 15 means maximum, you can call minimum 15 days is needed for the particular authentic of the panchakarma procedure.
Right. So, from what I am hearing from you, is that one has to really dedicate proper time from 15 to 21 days if they really want to see a comprehensive treatment or effectiveness of Panchakarma. Of course, one can do some form of Panchakarma at home at their convenience, but they might not reap the optimal benefit from this therapy. So, the
Because
best.
the main motto of this one is we have to rid out of a toxins from our body. So if we want to really rid out from, or we have to eliminate the toxins, means we have to do the proper time, and we need to give a proper time to that our body. Because if you example, if you want to build a building, means how many days needed depending upon that. So it has to strengthen first, because you have to start the uh, flooring and other things, after the concreting everything, how you will build the body.
Step by
That
step.
yeah, that form of a basic only will start our treatment. So what happen if you just I will give you some similes also, also are there. So if we are not doing the proper procedures, what happen, how example,
Okay. I think he
fold
got
it, yeah,
frozen.
it will cut. Yeah, it will cut. So if you do the oleation too, you can try in your home also. If you try with the oil application to the particular stick, and you start bending it, it will bend. So it will not break easily, so it will have some elasticity in that. So in that same way, whenever the panchakarma procedure we will perform, we will start with the snehana karma, that is only the oleation therapy. So it will not harmful to our body. So that was the motto behind this one.
Right. Wonderful.
So like surgery only, pre-operative, major procedure, and post-operative, the same way we will follow in the panchakarma.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, Dr. Tripathi, I would like to understand what kind of, I mean, it seems like it's possible for everybody to come and have a Panchakarma therapy, but are there any specific treatments or ailments where you highly recommend Panchakarma?
See, what we need to understand with our body is we are like a tree upside down. We have roots above and the branches are like falling down like our limbs, upper extremities and lower extremities. So the brain has to be taken care and the root has to be nourished properly. So I think Shirodhara, which everybody knows all around the world nowadays, Shirodhara is as famous as yoga. Yeah. So even if you are not able to put any oil over your head by going to some Panchkarma center, what we recommend is whatever the temperature is suitable for your body, like the body temperature, at least take little water in a vessel and put it over from your head. It's like you are pouring something over a stone or over a shivlinga. Yeah, like that. Like that, we need to nourish, we need to focus more over the nourishment of your head. Yeah, for that they highly recommend Shiroviration. Everybody must put some of the oil, some of the other oil inside your nostril, inside your ears, if possible. If you are having good quality of ghee or something like Trifla Grit and all, you must put it in your eyes. Yeah, you must massage your teeth with some oils like Iri Medadi Tel and all, or if nothing is available, at least with uh, sesame oil or olive oil or any kind of oil available around you. Yeah. So like that, out of five most important organs, the sensory organs of your body, four are directly attached to your brain. Yeah. So brain, all the brain centers are responsible for all the metabolism, all the mental and physical health, all the controlling of all your organs of the body. So the head has to be taken care of at its maximum. Yeah. So for reaching the head, they say nasa hi shiruso dwaram. Nose, nasal route is the most important route for a medicine to get administered and reach your brain or affect your brain. Yeah. Or stimulate all the 12 cranial nerves and all the nervous system of your body. Even for cervical spondylitis, I will tell you, which is the most common problem all over the world nowadays because of working continuously over laptop, computer, mobile, or over anything else. Yeah. So for cervical spondylitis, where we get, numbness and tingling sensation in your head, in your hands, and everything. For cervical spondylitis, the most important treatment is giving nasal drops in your through your nostrils. Yeah, you just take sesame oil or olive oil or ghee and just put two drops inside your nostril. At least you should do this. If this much of panchkarma, if you are doing by taking care of your nostrils, of your mouth, of your eyes, of your ears, and putting some oil or something on your head, or at least taking bath starting with head with body temperature of water, or any kind of decoction prepared out of neem or arjuna or dashmul or bhringraj, amla, any such cooling medicines, shankapushpi, brahmi, jatamansi, like that, definitely it is going to nourish the basic root of your body, your head. So I think this is the most important point which everybody has to take care of, and just take care of your heads. Yeah.
Wonderful. Dr. Sanjay, would you like to ask any questions? Unmute yourself.
When Dr. Tripathi was saying that I draw this, right? So it's other way around. So that's true, because usually what happens, like when we see people like this is the thing people don't notice on a daily basis. But if you notice, you will find out if there is any problem with our cognitive system or like brain system, neurological system, it affect multiple organ together. Like you have a speaking problem, you have a eye problem, you have a balancing problem. So these are the basic things, like you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a genius to understand this. um, Many people say like you don't have to have a slurred speech, but it's still like sometime you feel like heaviness on your tongue when you're talking, something like that, right? So if you ask this question to people like, hey, have you ever uh, like felt or do you feel some kind of heaviness on your tongue or a pressure? Dr. Tripathi, like I really want you to listen this and to say that, because the question here is, uh, it's not a slurred speech, okay? It's a clear speech. But when the person is talking, they're putting some effort on your tongue. No one can notice, the outsider cannot notice. And then the person who is speaking, they just ignore this. Okay. We have a lot of eye problem, like blurred vision, sometimes the double vision, sometimes the shaky vision. So usually what happen, like one thing a person need to understand, and especially when everyone is talking about Shrodhara and the brain and the neurological, and because it gives all the uh, um, we have the pituitary gland and the master hormonal a gland which release the hormone and control many symptoms or function of the body. So we never ask this question to people, and people never pay attention to these basic symptoms. Sometimes we walk, right, and we are walking, but we are slightly imbalanced kind of things. Okay, so these are many things, like our eye has a strength. So like what happened, people say, oh, maybe my eye has a problem, or maybe I'm tired, my leg has a problem, or maybe like I'm talking too much, so my, like that's why I have effort. But like somewhere, I think this is the stress or the load on your brain. So am I correct on this? Like, because they see this not necessary that every time every person has a disease, right? There can be a load on an organ, right? The organ is overworking. When the organ is overworking, there is a very common way of misfiring or misoperating or misfunctioning or malfunctioning the organ, right? That is why you see like many people have like pain and a disorder for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and then they recover. Then they again appear, and then they have a like this kind of like malfunction, and then it recover again. So can you put a little bit light on that particular thing? Because I really want to put this focus on like not a very um, a noticeable slurred speech. That's a different thing. Slurred is, I'm not talking about slurred speech. I'm talking about the person is talking very clearly, but they make some effort, right? So there must be some cognitive things. I, I is perfectly okay. No problem with the eyes, but I need to work much harder to do that because the brain is not able to process all those kind of things. So like that, many the disbalancing and all that kind of thing means brain is overworking. So is there, what is the best way in your Ayurveda to relax the brain, so the people can feel more comfortable and they can see the immediate benefit by observing this very small changes? Whoever would like to answer this, like would be nice. We can hear from everyone actually.
Dr. Joshi.
Uh, yes, Dr. Sanjay. The basic thing, what you have said, that the body is working and getting overloaded.
Hmm,
But the reason, most of the time, the reason behind it is the gut factor. The
hmm,
gut factor is a very important thing, because what we eat, which
hmm,
has been digested,
hmm,
and after that it has been absorbed through
hmm,
your gut
hmm,
towards your body, and it nourishes your body.
hmm,
If this process gets affected, all the things happen.
okay.
And basti is the process, medicated enemas, oil enemas, or different types of, we use around about 650 types of different enemas in our hospital. So just giving a small enema regularly, if a person is given, then we can see a significant result in the whole body, because most of the things are accumulated where? Stomach.
Hmm,
Stomach is the only place where things get accumulated or they get over evacuated, because the gut factor in
hmm,
our body, it plays a very important role in nourishing our body. And when nourishing is not, proper nourishment is for the body is not there, our body gets self-induced stress to regularize all the energy in the body. So the small things, small regularly basti, if it is administered, you can feel a drastic change
hmm,
in our day-to-day life. Because
okay.
without small enema, we can, because basti is the thing which treats
Hmm,
75% of the elements in the body: the pain, heart diseases, kidney diseases, brain problems, all the things of hemiplegia, quadriplegia, what we call as paralysis, eye problems, nostrils, rhinitis, all the things, joint pains, arthritis. 75% of these elements are being treated by basti. If
Basti.
a proper thing is being administered, properly diagnosis is made, and proper medication is used for evacuation of the basti, it is very useful for the things, because basti and nasya, putting things in the nostril, these two things are being mentioned to be done every day from the day of birth till you die. These are the two things you should regularly do, which has been recommended in our text. If you do it regularly, you will have no problem.
Okay, so what
And
you suggest me tomorrow morning to put in my nostril?
you can put sesame oil.
Sesame oil.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
not an issue. You can put,
So sesame
but
oil,
before
mustard oil, because yeah, I have seen like where I'm grown up, like people put a lot of mustard oil.
yeah, you can put mustard oil, but only one thing: after putting mustard oil or any oil, you should do proper gargling, hot water gargling,
Mm,
because the things percolates in your throats, and many of the times, if it doesn't suits your body,
mm.
this oil doesn't suits your body, you may get the throat problem, throat infection also. So proper gargling of hot water after doing nasya is very important. So
Okay,
do this practice.
good.
So
Very nice.
that's a morning practice. How about is it any there's how about we do this at night? Can we apply something and sleep?
Of course, you can just apply small, some do hot fermentation on your nostrils. Just apply some oil in your nostrils, slip it. For our rhinitis patients who are regularly having this allergic rhinitis from many years, they are sneezing, they are having a problem of when they wake up in the morning, they sneeze, they have running nose. We just ask them to have the ajwain totally, ajwain to put it in in a cloth, have a hot fermentation, do a hot fermentation over here around the nostrils and sinus. Put after fermentation, just put little uh, oil on your nostrils, which is going to nourish the inner elements, inner tissue of your nose, and within, we can see this result within 8 days, that the sneezing and running nose is stopped. So these are the two things which can be done regularly.
Great. So we want to hear from Dr. Suraj. Suraj can explain something on the same thing.
Yes, sir. Actually, Yogesh Joshi sir almost they said everything, but one means I will explain you how the beauty of this procedure, the mode of action of particular procedure, which are explained in our classics. Actually, what happened? Our classics, or whichever we can call it as samhitas, they will give it one like a similes. The normal people also can easily understand how the mode of action take place of a particular procedure. Example. Of a basti. So what they have told, if example they are giving how the if you are taking a white cloth in a proper dye of contain red or whatever the color, if you are putting that white cloth in a particular dye, means what it will have, the cloth will absorb that particular dye. The same thing the basti will act. How means the gut having that capacity, and the gut we can call it as other brain also. So when the particular medicine is means administrated in the gut, that time what happens, the mesenteric the channels, from the channels it will absorb almost all the particular the actions of a particular medicines, and it will spread throughout our body. The beauty of Ayurveda here only. So because of in every procedure also they have given the similes, we can call it as. They will give some quotes, and depending upon that we can understand how the mode of action it will be there. So one more similes they have given like that, how you are pouring the water to the roots of the particular plant, and from the roots only they will absorb that water by the process of xylem and phloem. It will start spreading to the almost part of the plant. The same way, whenever you are administering the particular medicines to the particular gut, it will absorb and it will reach to the every corner or every cell of the body. So this way, the mode of action they have told. So that's what the Vamana or Virechana, Basti, Nasya, Rakta Mokshana, we can call it as. It is not only the particular the things, but it will having the impact on every cell of a body. So this way, we can call it as how it will act.
Okay, so the question is still remain like what I asked, like
Yes,
is
sir.
do you like have you ever come across with the people, those who don't have this slurred speech or other kind of things, but they have come and complain you, I have a stress or like means I have a problem of speaking or something like that.
That is the thing. So whenever the slurred speech and other things are there, so we will concentrate it to the particular dosha. Doshik avastha. I think, sir, you are well versed with this one, vata, pitta, or kapha. Depending upon that, we will diagnose the things. So why the slurred speech they are feeling? The patient is feeling. So first, what we will do, we will counsel. Means we will do the counseling of a patient. So how kind means in means like you are told the opposite person cannot feel that much of a slurred, but the patient feel from the inside he is a slurred. So
Hmm.
depending upon that, we will analyze the patient complaints and we will start the treatment. So I think, yeah, I have gone with one patient. Yeah, what he told, he was telling that my voice is completely changed, but other people they are telling his voice is normal. So
Hmm.
I mean, the patient and patient attendant comes to me. So, but the patient attendant is telling that his sound is normal only, sir. So little bit changes are there, but it's not like that. So previously also sometimes he will, whenever he will getting a cold or a something, he will change. So I think what happened sometimes because the history of a patient or how they are feeling, because it's related with some psychiatry issues also. So because what happened when they are feeling, they will afraid inside only their self that, oh, I'm no means I'm feeling a slurred speech or something, etc. So
Hmm.
depending upon that, we have to concentrate and we have to counseling first. After that only we have to plan the treatment. So
Okay.
depending upon this, the nasya. Actually, I have started for the patient with the nasya karma. So nasya means anutaila. It's one formulation of our this one Ayurveda. That formulation I have given, like Yogesh Joshi told, you can use like that only. We started the treatment like in your home only. You can practice early morning, 2 drops in each nostril, like 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. That is, you can call it as Pratimarsha Nasya. Morning and evening, two drops in each nostril. We have advised the patient to take. After 15 days, when the patient comes to us, he give us came with a sweet box and he told that I cleared with my all doubts.
Hmm.
So we can means that only whenever the patient comes, we cannot think it's a problem directly with systematic approach or
Hmm.
psychiatric approach. We
Hmm.
need to analyze first.
Hmm.
After that only we can go for the particular treatment.
Hmm. So in that way, what we understand, like a few days back, we were having this um, workshop in Hong Kong about Neti Kriya.
Neti
So
kriya.
Really?
what I understand, like what you are saying, all of you, Neti Kriya is somehow like very important on a daily basis. What do you suggest?
Yeah, actually, sir, Neti Kriya, almost all the yoga, whichever the Kriyas they have told, like Dhauti is also there, Neti is also there, Trataka is also there. So many of the Kriyas are there. But what happened, the particular training of the patients is needed. If they do in a wrong manner, then
Mhm.
what happened? The Neti, when they are doing the Neti Kriya, that water will enters into their trachea or
Yeah.
there's some it will throat, then it will start a irritation.
Hmm.
So depending upon that, whichever the procedures, the Niti Kriya is very good in the kind of some type of a nasal disorders like running nose or something, other diseases related with the nose or throat or brain related. I do also practice Neti once in a week. This
Once
was
in a
there.
week.
Yeah,
Okay.
once in a week I will practice with the Neti. So I will use the warm water, just a little warm water for a neti purpose, and I will start. I doing the neti because the main thing was here the practice, the proper guidance of the yoga instructor or whichever the guru we can call it as. So needed,
Mm.
then only we can go for this neti, because if any one of the procedure, whichever the panchakarma also or whichever the yoga kriyas also, if you are not doing in the proper way, means it will leads to some of the complications.
That's true.
That was the thing. Expert advice is needed in this condition.
Okay. Thank you.
So I can
Thank you.
see some question here by Anil Belani, and he's saying, is there any easy remedy for sinus pain and throbbing headache due to congestion? Is it okay to have some salt, turmeric, warm water coming out through the nose when gargling? So who would like to answer that? Dr. Joshi?
Yeah. If it is uh, due to the congestion, what the same thing what I had given an example, uh, hot fermentation with the tied ajwain tied in a cloth, and doing hot fermentation on sinuses and head, and applying this oil. Generally, we recommended Anuteria Narayan tail. Just applying it in the nostrils in the night and in the morning. These are the two time while sleeping and when you get up. So these are the two things, two time. If you do it regularly for 8 days, and basically hot fermentation, if you do, your headache and the running nose and things will you'll get relief. 80% relief you'll get within 8 to 10 days.
8 to 10 days. Good.
And he's saying, is it okay to sniff black pepper to initiate a sneeze? Sneezing helps to reduce sinus pressure sometimes, he's asking.
Sometimes it is okay, but it is not recommended, because basically congestion is there, and if without hot fermentation and if without oiling, the pressure is being created, generated, it will feel temporary relief, but it will create more pressure in the body and you will get more pain and more things aggravated after that. So first do the oiling, hot fermentation, and then if required, then we'll go for it.
Great. Dr. Suraj, if you want to comment something on that?
Yes, sir. Because for the congestion and other things, that is the thing only the Yogesh Joshi sir told. The same thing. Whichever, if a congestion is there, you cannot directly with the pepper or other thing. What happen if sometimes because the pepper, I think you know what it's having a spicy content. What happen normally whenever you will smell some type of a powder or something, what happen, the irritation of a throat will be occur. So if the some amount of a pepper added with other medicines can be taken, but I cannot suggest here the directly take the pepper this one for snuffing purpose. So one more thing, the daily the sir told we can call it as the same. We have to made a small bags of the ajwain, or we can made it as with we can call it as the trifala. We can make it as a potali and we can kashaya and we can be this process we can call it as avagondana process in our panchakarma. So just we are giving the fermentation to this orbital region, the wherever the nasal orbital region is there and sinuses are present in that region, we have to give the hot fermentation with the bag whichever the contains the particular the seeds or a trifala, and after dipping in a kashaya, just we have to give a hot fermentation. By that what happens, the congestion, the whichever the congestion or accumulation of a sinus from this one, it will liquefies and it will start flowing outside from the nostrils. That time what happens, the patient feels very comfortable. So we can add some of a haridra also, means you can turmeric also in that particular procedure. So
Okay.
it will having an impact on particular temporal region or mandibular region. It will having because whenever we are feeling the sinus which is blocked or congestion, the tightness in our complete face.
Mm.
So to get rid of that, just we have to do this one. And if almost congestion is relieved, the congestion is completely relieved. If he is feeling with a recurrent sinusitis or a rhinitis, he can go for Pratimarshanasya as Yogesh Joshi sir advised.
Okay. Dr. Tripathi, today you have to say something.
There was some network issues actually.
But I hope you are hearing what you're listening, what we are discussing over here. And it
Yes,
started
yes.
from your the point where you say like, okay, the head is the root and everything has to apply from the head. So the things went to the gut. Okay. So we move from the head to the gut, right? So what I can understand here, very simple. Yes, it's true that when we talk about gut, it's basically assimilation, absorption, and through our biochemistry or through our blood circulatory system, all the nutrient or important therapeutic ingredient are reaching to every cells of the body. But then what I understand from Basti, like compare with any other modern medication, it's more like a topical application. So like a balm, right? So like oil is a topical application. So when you put a oil on your head, it's a topical application, correct, right? So we don't have to drink the oil, which has to digest and through the cell it has to reach over there. We can put directly the topical application. So what is the suggestion like means, because that's what I'm coming again. Many people, they don't talk, but they only focus on headache and define themselves. They have a migraine or this and that, vision problem, speaking problem,
नहीं
balancing
खाने में
problem.
छिड़क के खाना.
So what can be done on that particular part, on a topical application to your root? Go ahead.
Dr. Tripathi?
See, yeah, see when talk about topical application, it's very important. And I talked earlier also. We prepare a oil Belitone. Yeah, Belitone is a oil simply prepared out of castor oil. Castor oil is the main thing in that. If you are suffering from like not suffering from if the muscles of your body are getting loosened, yeah, they are losing the elasticity and they are losing the tonicity of themselves, then simply applying castor oil, uh, like just massaging it over your tummy, it helps to regain the elasticity of your abdominal muscles. Yeah, like that, topical applications are very important. If you are applying castor oil for more than 7 minutes to belly, you start developing a feeling of like going for purgation, like that. So that much deeper absorption is there from topical application. Ayurveda says the number of times you are applying or you are rubbing or you are massaging something over a particular point, it goes to deeper dhatus every with every application. Yeah. So if you are applying something for more than 700 times at a one particular part of your body, then you can smell that particular oil in your urine after 40 minutes, say. Yeah, because that much deeper absorption is there from tropical application itself. So it is absolutely very clear from the side of Ayurveda that oral medication is having its own importance. They are saying for oilation of body, you give oil or ghee for oral intake, you give it for external application, you give as from nostrils, from ears, from eyes, from medicated anima, definitely from basti anima root, you can give from anal root. Yes, absolutely. See, if we are talking about vata, pitta and kapha, the three body types or the three doshas which are present in the body. Definitely for kapha, it's Vaman, like the the place for kapha is like the upper body. So we have to evacuate the excessive accumulated toxins or doshas from the nearest root. So induced purgation is the way. When you have to remove excessive pitta or excessive heat, hyperacidity or chest burn or esophageal varices, gastric peptic ulcers like that, then definitely induced purgation is the right way. And when there is lot of lower intestinal problems, genitourinary tract is affected, sperm count is very low, impotency, infertility, low back pain, for all sorts of vatic disorders where air is dominant, where air is got vitiated, definitely medicated enema, the basti chikitsa is the most important line of treatment for that. If you have any kind of skin allergies or itching or psoriasis or fungal infections, definitely removing the toxins which are which got accumulated over the blood which is like supplying to that particular part, definitely rakta mokshan, removing the toxic blood from that particular place is the right line of treatment. For all sorts of nasal congestions, definitely putting the oil through nose, eye disorders, ear disorders, hair problems, they are saying you give the medicine from inside, over to that you do something from externally also, for purification, for rejuvenation, for all sorts of purposes, for a life to bloom. Definitely Panchakarma is the way. Yeah.
That's very good. I think like listening all that, maybe Lillian can put certain comment and at least like what is happening in Hong Kong, because she has a lot of client, and I asked Lillian to share what is the practice in Hong Kong usually you guys are doing. Unmute yourself.
So Lillian is not here at the moment. I don't know where she went. Lillian.
Yeah, she is there. Yeah. Unmute yourself.
Yes. Hello. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sanjay. So, yes. In Hong Kong, actually, yes, I give a lot of the massage to different kind of the people, and the common problem of my clients are they don't sleep well. They all have the body pain, especially on the shoulder and the leg. And sometimes nowadays, because of the pandemic, they don't exercise a lot, and they do the home office. So most of the time they are just sit in front of the computer. So the full body actually everywhere is in pain. So whatever I meet them, they will tell them, oh, I normally I ask them which part is I should put more focuses, and they said, I don't know, everywhere is pain. It's painful. So
No, the
yes, that's
question, okay, the question here is when you went to India and you learned those specific Ayurveda treatment, so how do you use those treatment and what is the restriction, what is the limitations, and how well those treatment are accepted? Say, for example, you can give some some example from like American Club or other kind of like Mandarin Oriental or those kind of stuff to share with our Indian doctors and audience, so they can understand like how Hong Kong is doing, whether it is a fancy treatment or it is a real therapeutic treatment. So we really need to understand in between the fancy treatment and the real treatment, because we have an expert Ayurvedic practitioner sitting over here. They are the Ayurvedic doctors. So it is very important for the people to understand like what they get in an international market. Is it really a kind of a fancy relaxation kind of things, or it is true Ayurveda stuff?
So in the I understand questions. So in Hong Kong, actually, because of we have very limited space. So the limitation of giving the Ayurveda treatment, first of all, is the space, because of it's difficult for everybody to put a proper massage table, Ayurvedic massage table, you know, the wooden ones, in our spa center. And at the same time, oil, because of Ayurveda treatment, also well known as oilation therapy. So every treatment we use a lot of the oil. That's what the normal people sometimes they feel, wow, it's too oily, and the beauty center or the massage center, they will think about how to handle the oil. For example, if when we do the Shudawa, we need to use at least 1 liter of the oil for one kite. So the cost is very expensive, and the the second point is how to handle the oil. We cannot just pour it in the drainage, and we cannot use it to the other kind because of the hygiene problem. So I think this is the two limitations. For the spa center has a little bit hesitations to have the Ayurveda treatment in their place. But on the good side is for those who is willing to try, they can feel the differences because of for the Ayurveda treatment actually is different with the other treatments which is available in the market, like the aromatherapy or the Chinese type of the massage, or even the Swedish treatment. Because of for the Ayurveda treatment, we'll use the warm oil. So this is the main differences between Ayurveda and the other treatment. And when people are very tired and they are very stressful, when they came for the treatment, once they feel the power of the warm oil treatment, they feel that it is very relaxed. And at the same time, the massage technique of the Ayurveda is very, very different with the other kind of the therapy, because of it is a very long stroke and it is a very fast pace. At first, the time you feel that, wow, can I relax after this treatment? It looks very energetic. But after the treatment, most of them actually during the treatment, most of my clients, they fall asleep, and it is a very deep sleep. This is the things they really need to, because of most of the time they don't sleep well. So yeah, I think this is the pros and cons of the Ayurvedic treatment to have it in Hong Kong. Yeah.
See, Dr. Joshi and Dr. Tripathi, we have discussed this before, like how to make like Ayurveda as a first choice, right? So, Dr. Suraj also, like you were not in that discussion there, but the idea is like, suppose we have to make Ayurveda as a first choice out of India, we have to remove some kind of inhibition. So as Lillian mentioned that, oh, too much oil, too sticky, and like, like it's not very like easy kind of thing. So the people, instead of looking the benefit of it, they're looking the front part of it like, oh, it's a bit messy kind of things, right? So
Yes,
what is the
actually,
alternate? What is the alternate of it,
yeah.
or how
If
it
you
should be handled?
if you think of alternate means you will not get benefit of particular
Exactly.
Ayurveda.
Yes.
That was the thing. If you are going means faster means you will not get particular relief. If you are going in emergency or hurry burry means it will lead to accident, or it will lead to some of the complications.
Yes.
So that was the thing. One more thing I have observed in Western countries, apart from India and some more countries, they have restrictions of some of our Panchakarma procedures. So mainly,
Mm,
if we are seeing through the context of Western world, what they did, they will only Panchakarma means they know only the massage, oil with the massage and other things only. So Panchakarma is other than the massage or
yes.
oil or other things. So that's what
Yes.
I saying Vamana, Virechana, Basti, Nasya, and Rakta Mokshana. These are the main we can call it as the Panchakarma, and some part like the massage is we can call it as upakarmas means there are sub procedures for the particular procedure. So like the Panchakarmas. So like the sub procedures are there. We need to follow that. Depending upon that, when you are taking the particular Panchakarma, then only you will getting benefits. So that's what I would say that we need to popularize like yoga, how the yoga is popularized in the world. So that's what we are celebrating the Yoga Day in the month of June, World Yoga Day. The same way we have to celebrate our World National Ayurveda Day. We are actually celebrating in the month of
November.
whenever Deepavali,
Yeah.
yeah, Deepavali whenever that comes, the Dhanatrayodashi we can call it as that Dhanatrayodashi day we are celebrating the Ayurveda Day. Like that, if the every corner of the world, if they will start giving opportunity to the Ayurveda Vaidyas, whoever the particular Ayurveda Vaidyas according to the qualification. Last also communications we have discussed about the how the qualifications of a yoga practitioners or Ayurveda practitioners, how they are, how the basic qualification, that is I can call it as BAMS degree, Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery, or after that the MD or MS. So same way that practitioners, if they will went to the different parts of the country, if they will start establishing the authenticity of the particular Ayurveda, that time only we will grow across the world and we can give a first choice of a medicines. If yeah, because of that only last discussion also I suggested, if you are taking the same diploma courses or something about Ayurveda, then you start practicing as an Ayurveda practitioner, then it will not help to popularize the main component of the Ayurveda. You
Dr.
can
Suraj,
practice with
Dr. Suraj, sorry to interrupt you. It's you raise a very interesting topic, and can you explain why? Because this is truth that many country the panchakarma is not allowed. Why? Why these countries see panchakarma as a different kind of medicinal process, or why? Like means why there is a restriction on that? And it is true, because if there is a restriction, means you have to get approval, you have to take a license, and if you don't have a license, you cannot practice it, right?
yeah.
So
But
what's the reason
recently,
behind it?
yeah,
Yeah.
recently the California School of Ayurveda from the USA, they are
Hmm.
also practicing with our Panchakarmas, whichever the
Okay.
traditional over here, like Vamana, Virechana, and these things. And one more thing, whenever we are doing the Panchakarma, we are analyzing the patient. You can call it as a Prakriti. I think we have heard in last, and
Yeah.
uh, capacity of the particular body. What
Hmm.
happened? Why the people think, if for example I will tell you, in the process of vomana, what we have to do, we will give a medicines to patient to vomit. How many times vomit? It will take 6 8 4 6 8 is the maximum timing of a vomiting. So some people or some Western countries, they will feel like it is like a punishment. So it's not a punishment.
Oh, okay.
Actually, what actually it is, the procedure. Because here we are doing for so many patients, no means nobody come with any of the complications. Same with the or purgation also, virechana also. So the beauty of Ayurveda, I will tell you that only. So minimum, if we are advising the virechana to the patient, the purgations, the patient, the minimum we can call it as hina shodita, means very minimal the purification. We can call it as 10 times if you will purgate means it is a minimal purification. 20 times minimum means it's a moderate. It's a maximum. If you want to reach that particular means 30 times he has to purgate. So this was the treatment protocol, but patient by only seeing that the things. And one more thing, this was what we can call it as some of the doctors, they will think the other system of a medicine, they will think that why they will do what they will do by purgating or vomiting and etc. They have to learn and they have to discuss with some of the Ayurveda practitioners, then only they can know the things. So that's what some of the countries recent days, they are starting allowing our Ayurveda physicians to practice the particular Panchakarma. So
Okay.
this was the way. If you are following a particular way, then we can. But we have to think. Means almost all the world, other nation also think in that way, and they have to think in the scientific way also.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Good. So, any other questions? Anyone? Vivian, do you have any question for anyone? Any of the doctors? Dr. Tripathi, would you like to share? Okay, who should not be taking Panchakarma therapy?
See, there is a long list of that. I want to demonstrate one small procedure if you will allow. Yeah. Yeah, it's a medicated smoking. We call it Dhoopan Chikitsa, because that smoking which people are doing nowadays has come from Ayurveda only, but they have added tobacco and other toxic things and spoiled it. We add 18 herbs to a stick, which is Dhoomavati, and I'll show you how to do it. Yeah, start. You have to take it from one nostril, inhale it from one nostril, and exhale it from mouth. Then, then again, like that, we have to do it from one nostril, inhaling, exhaling from mouth, 3 times from each nostril, and finally from mouth, we have to inhale and exhale like that. So this is a procedure of Dhoopan. Like that, there are so many practices in the world which have actually evolved from Ayurveda only, from Panchakarma only. Like smoking is there. After food, people are taking, sometimes some sort of smoking, and so many things they are taking. Tambula patra and uh, whatever they do for purification and cleaning of mouth and all these things are mentioned in Panchakarma and Ayurveda. And especially they have mentioned, like if you are doing any procedure above shoulder, if you are putting some oil in your ears or nostril or eyes or mouth or anything else, you must do Dhoopan after that. If you don't have any kind of Dhoomavati or like that, you can just take some herbs, some good herbs which are having little sharp activity, like it could be our spices, dalchini, badi ilaichi, long and all that, and just burn it in a pan, in a hot pan. Put it in a hot pan, some fumes will be coming out. Take those, inhale those fumes from your nostril and exhale from your mouth, like that. So there won't be any kapha increase, there won't be any heaviness left in your head. Yeah.
Very good.
And as far as Panchakarma contraindication is there, I think Panchakarma is not contraindicated to anybody. Depending upon the condition of a patient, there are various procedures explained. For pregnancy also, they have recommended some medicated enemas, some basti procedures. For just newly newborn babies also, they have mentioned like Swarna Prashan and all. That is also a part of Panchakarma only. See, if a procedure is purifying you in some way and rejuvenating you in some way, it is a part of Panchakarma. It is definitely classification of one or the other heading which comes under Panchakarma. Yeah, Veena ji.
So basically, there doesn't seem to be much contraindications.
Yeah, and Panchakarma is contraindicated for dead.
Of course. And just last question: how many times in a year can one? I mean, especially if they're going through the whole process. Say, for example, someone does a 21 days or a 14 days. How many times in a year can one do this? Dr. Joshi?
Yes, Uh, listen, once for a just uh, preventive aspect, once a year, it is recommended for all the people to undergo the process. The minimum process of basti at that time, Virichan Vaman at that time, in a particular season, once a year, it's okay.
Once a year. Okay.
Yeah,
Once a
one more thing, Vinaji, I have to hear. So normally, when you have to take a panchakarma, like that one example I have to give here. So for your vehicles, whichever the vehicles, cars or bikes, what you will do? You will do the regular servicing, etc., to the particular vehicles. Na? The same way, our body also needs some servicing. that servicing in the manner of our Panchakarma only. Why cannot? So here also we are practicing with. That's what the motto. The whichever the healthy individuals or whichever the diseased persons, they both can take the treatment. For healthy individuals, like how we have like vehicles, how they have to maintain to work proper. In the same way, if we want our body in a proper way, the Panchakarma is the best thing. So, as Yogesh Joshi sir told, depending upon the seasons, we will perform some of the purificatory therapies. Like Vamana in the mean of summer and winter. Means after winter completion, the summer will come. That time we will do. In the rainy season, we will do the Basti. And in the almost the after ending of this Varsha, we can call it as. And in that middle time only, we can start with the Basti treatment. Like that, so many of the treatments are there depending upon the color. We can call it as a time, place is very important, and the patient is important. So, which kind of a patient it is, and which time it is, and which type of a treatment we can adopt to the particular patient. So, I can advise Lal Darianji to take our proper Panchakarma treatment to rejuvenate yourself. In our Basti, we're having so many of the Basti Chikitsas which do the rejuvenation. So, whichever in the last sessions you are discussed about the some of the medicines like Manjishta, Haridra, Ashwagandha, etc. So, Ashwagandha we are adding in some type of our the Basti. We are adding some type of medicines and like a Basti and other, we make a formulation and we are giving to the patient to rejuvenate themselves. So, you can try with that. You come to India and we can try. That was the best thing.
I'm looking forward to come to India.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yes, Mr. Lal wants to keep ever energetic and ever youthful. So I was even suggesting this to him today.
Veena, I like to suggest just for 5 minutes. Today, a lot of people are online. If you can bring them online, and if they have any question to ask, so we have a nice panelist sitting over here to answer their questions. So at least they can interact. Like there are 20 plus people up there. Let's see. Just 5 minutes only. Yeah, everyone can open their.
So whoever is up on the panel, and if you would like to ask any questions, you can ask. See, a lot of people are not willing to come up on the panel. I don't think people want to come up.
No problem. So then hand over to Mr. Lal.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have, one second, we have Dr. Minal, we have Himani, we have Vimal. So if any one of you want to ask one or two questions, this is your opportunity before we end the session. You can open up the video or you can even unmute yourselves.
Hello, good evening, sir and ma'am. I'm Dr. Meenal Pasari. Sir, Yogesh sir, I'm your student also. I've joined your course, Dak Sanskar, and successfully running it. I would just like to ask which oil is best for the nurse for the spondylitis. Actually, I'm giving them the Kati Basti and Griva Basti. They have both problems. He is a cardiologist and he want to go for the Panchakarma, famous cardiologist. Then I have decided the Kati Basti and also Griva Basti. They have sciatica problem, neurological problem. Then Nasi is better, good for helping it also. So which oil is best? And what other things also I can add for his treatment?
So who did he
Dr. Joshi.
Dr. Joshi.
Yes, Dr. Meenal.
Understood.
As I have told in the chat box, and also Dr. Suraj has recommended Shirbala one not one avarti Nasya oil is very important for Nasya in the patients having the spondylitis, specifically the time which is recommended, that is after the breakfast.
So I don't understand what meaning of the 101 hour. That means the time period.
No, no. The thing is that the preparation, this is when the it is processed 101 times. The potency of that oil becomes more, and it penetrates very easily, goes very easily towards the nerves, and it is a preparation. It is a name of the preparation which is called as 101 avarti, because one time it is one, 60 times it is 60, 101 times, then 101 times it is processed. The process of making oil is processed for 101 times. So the small quantity works in a very good way. So 101 avarti, if you ask, it is a preparation from any Kerala Ayurveda treatment or Kerala pharmacy. You can use from AVN, AVP, CNS, Sitaram. You can get it, and you can use it for a Nasya.
Okay, sir. Okay, I can take from the Kerala pharmacies and I can use it. They are
Yeah,
better. Okay.
of course, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Vimal.
Any last question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
last question.
yeah, this is Vimal. I just want to ask, I'm pre-diabetic patient. So what treatment you suggest for the pre-diabetic patient?
Your voice is not clear. Can you repeat?
No, yeah, I am pre-diabetic patient. So
Uh,
what treatment you suggest for that patient, pre-diabetic?
Pre-diabetic patient, what do you suggest?
okay,
Yeah,
Dr. Suraj, maybe you would like to say something.
Actually, actually, already the Vimal, they have asked in a chat box also. We have given answer. It can be reversed or reversible. Yeah, it can be reversible if you start with the proper medications. We can call it as first. We need to analyze the how much amount of a blood sugar the rise in their blood sugar levels. Depending upon that, we need to analyze the first, and after that we need to start with a particular some type of a treatments, like some of the herbal medicines we need to give it to the particular patient. After that only we can come back with the things. And one more thing I want to advise to the Vimalji is you need to daily practice with yogasana and pranayama. This was the first foremost important, like pranayama and yogasana. It's not no needed to do the almost all the asana. Basic Surya Namaskara you can practice, and some of the pranayamas like Anuloma Viloma pranayama you should practice. And after that you should start with some amount of you can start with home remedies, like you can start with eating you can call it as methi, uh,
fenugreek.
the seeds of a methi, I
Yeah,
think.
Methi dana.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is
methi dana.
fenugreek.
Fenugreek
Fenugreek, yeah.
seeds. Yeah, the fenugreek seeds. You need to soak it whole night, and early morning you should drink a little bit of little water. That will helps to regulate your blood sugar level. This was the fenugreek seeds having a wonderful result to reduce your the blood sugar level. So you can start with that. After just you can, I will suggest you that just you can go through any of the doctors or vaidyas, we can call it as in our Ayurveda, and just you can analyze first your body, and after that we can go for particular treatment. This was the
Thank
home
you.
remedy I can suggest.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, wonderful. I will call the session and come to an end. Thank you so much for everyone's time. I would hand the mic over to Mr. Lal for closing the session with his beautiful voice and his beautiful song.
Thank you, Veena. I'm happy all day. You know, I was uncomfortable, but today listening to all the doctors, I already feel good. So on that note, some happy song. Okay. सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हंसी, सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हंसी, हमें डर है हम खो न जाए कहीं, सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हंसी, सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हंसी, हमें डर है हम खो न जाए कहीं, सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हंसी। ये कौन हंसता है फूलों में छुप कर, बाहर बेचैन है जिसकी धुन पर, ये कौन हंसता है फूलों में छुप कर, बाहर बेचैन है जिसके धुन पर, कहीं गुनगुन कहीं रुमझुम के जैसे नाचे जमी, सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हंसी, सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हंसी, हमें डर है हम खो न जाए कहीं, सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हंसी। Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for this wonderful Sohana Safar, everybody. Thank you for your sharing this beautiful knowledge of Panchakarma. At least we are a little bit more aware of this subject, and I'm sure there's a lot more to learn. But thank you for starting this, and thank you for sharing your insights. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
good night. Thank you. Bye bye.
Good night. Good night. Bye
See you
bye.
next week.
Yes. Thank you.